guess like what emotions come with that for you?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I got to play him a couple years ago, but going back to Baltimore is definitely a little bit different story. It is somewhat surprising, honestly, that because I've been gone for a decent amount of time now. So, the fact that I haven't had a chance to go back is a little surprising.
We just got invited.
Take your time. It's okay.
Joe, how do you feel about the Ravens celebrating their 30th anniversary with the Browns in town? You know the history of this franchise.
Yeah, it's funny because that isn't the first thing that I think about. Not being from here, but I can understand how that looks. Listen, they do these things, and I think you can take it however you want. If you're from Cleveland, you can take it one way, and if you're from Baltimore, you can, say it's not a big deal. It's just one of those things. Honestly, for me, it kind of makes it more exciting. We get to go in there when they're throwing, when they're having some people back, and just more ex-players, more eyes on you. It'll make it more interesting.
Joe, you ever gone against a defensive coordinator who's your former teammate?
I'm assuming this is the first time. I don't know if I'll ever get another opportunity. Zach, man, just super, well-liked player, awesome player. Unfortunate, that he wasn't able to have a longer career. But obviously, he's right where he wants to be. So it's pretty cool.
Just for the record, did you leave the Ravens on good terms?
I think so. We all know kind of the story there. And yeah, like I have nothing but love for the people in that facility and the people in that city. I mean, for sure. It's one of those things like, in the NFL, there's a business side of it and, things happen. I'm fortunate to be where I am today and be in this position, but I have nothing for love for that city and for that organization. I mean, I was a small school guy that they took a little bit of a chance on early on in the draft, and I have so many good memories with those people and that city and that stadium. So a very special place.
Is it special for you to go back there and get the ball?
Listen, it's been a while now, so you kind of just. I think I'm very capable of just seeing it as another division game, but it will be cool to go back in that stadium. I haven't had a chance to do it since I've played there. I really love playing there. It's an awesome place to play. It's an awesome venue. It's an awesome atmosphere. They do a great job. So I love playing there. So I think in that respect, it will be pretty cool to go back for sure.
Joe, is it kind of weird that you haven't been back there? Like the schedule hasn't worked out?
Yeah.
You've been there. And what do you think the fans, how do you think they're going to react to you?
Yeah, who knows? I mean, listen, I love the fans there, and I think, I think they have, good memories of me playing football there. So, I don't think anybody's going to be crazy bad, but at the same time, they're rooting for their Ravens. So that's what you can expect.
How weird is it going to be those, you're the quarterback of the Cleveland Browns, and they're going to be celebrating you in some respects because you brought them a Super Bowl?
I guess it's kind of, maybe strange from the outside in, but like I said, it's probably just not too often that you get these opportunities and there's a guy that's still playing, because usually they take a little time in between things, and it's crazy that they've been around. The Baltimore Ravens have been around for 30 years now. It's kind of crazy to think about. But yeah, I think, like I said earlier, that'll kind of make it a little bit more interesting, a little bit more fun. There'll be ex-players there with some eyes on the game, and it should make it fun.
Joe, you talk about that with all the ex-players being there and the big celebration and all the hoopla that's going to be going on. Did you need any more excitement? Isn't it just going back there? Don't you think that it's going to be so crazy?
No, you don't need any more excitement. And I honestly don't think that you're, like, as players and, like, if you're watching the game on TV, I don't really think you're going to feel that side of it. That's just something that's going to be there for the people that are in attendance, and at halftime. I mean, and I'll probably head out 10 minutes earlier to say hello to a couple guys. Got a lot of people coming to the game because it's an easy little drive down from Jersey. And a lot of people that have a lot of memories watching me play in that stadium. So I think it's kind of cool for them. For me, it is. It's another game. I got to prepare to play another football game. But I think when you look at like the outside of it, there's going to be some people that kind of get to have some fun with this.
Hey,
Will
Joe,
you be able
with
to-
you.
will you be able to keep your emotions in
Yeah,
check?
yeah.
I mean,
No, for
it's a
sure.
lot, but-
Yeah, for sure. I mean, listen, even if I'm not, you're not going to know. So, I've been criticized my whole career for not being able to show any emotion. So, I think that's the last thing you have to worry about with me. So,
hey, Joe, what can the offense do to build on what you guys did last week?
we just got to play a little bit cleaner. I think we have a lot of ability to do some really good things this year. We just got to make sure that we clean up some things and don't get in our own way.
From being with him, did you ever expect Lamar Jackson's star to rise like it has to this point?
Well, I mean, it's such a tough question to answer about anybody. But I think he was able to show pretty early on what he was capable of. I mean, he came in the year I was there and won football games, and then right away the next year got off to an awesome start. So I think he very quickly was able to show who he is, and that's a testament to the work he's put in and just the type of athlete he is.
People talk a lot about you mentioned the athleticism, and that's the stuff that people notice because it's the standout skill. But how much has he grown as a passer and a processor of defense as well?
Well, I think he's a good football player. So he sees the field in a certain way. And I think when you're able to do that, then you're able to get better at things and become who you want to be in all facets of the game. I think that's the important thing. He's out there playing football, and the way he sees the field is probably unique to himself, and that's why he's able to do all those things.
How much of a relationship do you still have with Lamar? Like, do you guys stay in touch at all? Or?
We don't stay in touch, but I mean, we saw each other a couple years ago. I mean, we were very, I think we put a smile on each other's faces, and I enjoyed being with him, and I'm kind of like that with pretty much everybody I've played with. It's not like that I keep directly in touch with them, but when we see each other, it'll be like right back to 2018. So.
Joe, it didn't feel like there were a whole lot of downfield shots against the Bengals. Was
Mm-hmm.
that game plan or just what Cincinnati was doing defensively?
Probably, a little bit of both, but I think just what we were doing, we had success with. I think we were able to hit some checkdowns that kind of acted as part of the run game, and we were able to get some chunks, but just kind of in the intermediate area and not have to throw the ball down the field that much. Sometimes when you want to throw the ball down the field, you call plays to do it, and it doesn't end up happening, and it's week to week. So in that respect, it's probably just more based on, the coverages that they played, when we called certain plays.
Just similar to the Lamar question I asked you, when you were coming out, I think a lot of the excitement about you as a young player was the size, the arm strength. How important was it for you to be able to develop the mental process and developing how to run a defense?
Well, listen, I think processing and, being able to just see the field and make quick decisions, I think that's always important. Because at the end of the day, when you're playing against good defenses, they're going to force you to do that at some point, and you have to be able to stand in there and make that happen. So it was a very important thing for me to develop.
It looks like Quinshawn will be back with you guys on the field at least tomorrow.
Yeah.
And maybe play on Sunday. How great would it be for you to have him back on the playing field on Sunday?
Yeah, listen, I think anytime we get to have our full 53 and the guys that are, the guys that are going to make an impact for us here with us, it's exciting. Listen, obviously he hasn't gotten the reps and been at it, for all of training camp and things like that, but I'm sure we're going to, try to get his legs in there and get him some reps as quickly as we can to kind of bring him up to speed. So, like I said, anytime you get one of your guys back that you feel like can make an impact, it's an exciting thing.
Joe, what is it about the Ravens' culture defensively? It doesn't matter personnel on the field, doesn't seem to matter coordinator or scheme. They just always seem to play a very hard, tough, physical brand of defensive football.
Listen, I think when you make things important and when you truly, you don't just put them on the board, you truly make it an important part of who you are as a football team, then you tend to kind of go in that direction. And I think, ever since kind of Ray was drafted, and then Ed and Suggs and Elodie and all these guys, but I think it probably started with Ray. That became the culture, and it became. I think they were able to win with that pretty quickly. And I think they saw as an organization the importance of what that type of style of play can do for you. And they made a point to make it part of their identity. And I think the people that they have in that building have carried that through for the last 30 years, and that's why it happens. They definitely emphasize it, and therefore it actually comes to fruition on Sundays.
Did you have that conversation with Andre over darts? And are you glad that he's getting another chance?
Of course. No, I did not have the conversation yet over darts. We haven't played yet this week, but of course I'm glad. Listen, that's what this league's about. It's what's next game up, next play up. All that really matters is what you do going forward. So I'm excited for him, and I'm excited for our team, always to get that next opportunity.
Is this right up there just in terms of magnitude and emotion for games that you've played in your career? I mean, I know it's not a playoff game
Yeah.
like that, but I mean, just going back there for the first time?
I mean, listen, I'd probably say no, because there has been so many important games that I've played in my career, but I don't think you can answer that until you go there and you kind of feel what it is. Like I said, I think it has been a decent amount of time. So just in terms of like the team versus the team, like there's very few guys that I recognize, on that team anymore. I mean, Marlon was there, and Lamar was there, and Mark Andrews was there, but it's a different football team, and the coaching staff, the people in the building. I think it's cool to go back and play there for that reason, for some of those people. It's going to be cool to go back and just play there because they got unbelievable fans that bring a lot of energy to that stadium. I think those are just, I don't know if it's like a special thing in my mind, or I'm just excited to play in a cool atmosphere. Anytime I love playing in stadiums that, have fans that are into the game and make it feel that much more interesting. This is one of those places. It always has been one of those places. That is also one of those places. It's an awesome place to play just because of the energy that fan base brings into that stadium every Sunday. So I'm just excited to kind of play in that atmosphere, just as you would be as a young kid. If somebody told you you're going to play in front of 100,000 at Notre Dame or Penn State or something like that, I think that's the cool part of it for me. And obviously I've never done it as an away player, but I can remember being in that stadium and they get loud. And I've seen some things. So it's going to be a lot of fun and definitely a challenge.
We know Ozzie Newsome from here for all those years. What was he like from a player's perspective that having that organization?
I think you just looked at Ozzie and you're like, man, look at all he's done. He just had that way about him. And I think as players you respected it so much just because he had done so much in this league as a player. And anytime you see that, it's hard not to just have the utmost respect for that person. And then obviously to go on and do what he's done after that, and kind of the role that he's played in that organization. And if you talk about the defense they built and all those things, I think he's one of those guys that's right up there in terms of building that type of culture.
Would you say in terms of emotion then, that 2022 meeting against Baltimore,
Yeah.
when you were with the Jets, because you had more players that you knew on that team?
I definitely think playing them in the past and getting that little bit out of the way, I do think that was probably, even though it wasn't in Baltimore, just from playing the Baltimore Ravens, getting that out of the way already will make this a little bit easier. I know it's different, like I said, because we're going back to Baltimore, but just in terms of playing your old team and the emotions that come with that. Because listen, I mean, like I said, we were on good terms when I left, but at the same time, it's natural to feel a certain way when you're going against a team that you're not playing for anymore. I've been a part of other players that do that, and you kind of try to act normal, but it is a big deal. You do want to go beat them, and it's a little bit of a difference. So I think the fact that I've done that, been in that kind of environment before, this this game will be a little bit, a little bit more normal because I've already done it.
What's that game, one of your more frustrating losses then? Because you had a 300-yard game, but still.
Well, it was a 300-yard game, but I guarantee, no, they beat us up pretty good. I mean, we did. I feel like we had a chance, because we did hold them in check a little bit for a little bit of time. But I threw a touchdown late that didn't mean anything. It was a 300-yard game that wasn't I don't think it really meant much. It was disappointing to lose to them for sure, but not because I threw for 300 or anything like that.
But you
All right,
followed
last
it-
one.
You followed it up with a good game. That was my question. That was the bonus.
You got it.
Have you had any back and forth with Coach Harbaugh at all?
I haven't. I mean, we have over the last year. I mean, for sure, but not this week. Man, it's crazy to think though. I mean, me and John came in together. I can picture myself up in his office my rookie year as we were getting ready to make a playoff run, just kind of looking at each other like, man, how cool is this? So it's also pretty cool that we're 18 years in and still doing this thing. So anytime you have that kind of anytime you've been through the kind of stuff that we've been through together, you have a pretty cool relationship. So.